So we got Wall Street Journal. Basically, it seems like what has happened is FTX, who were worth about had assets totaling about 900 million, had liabilities totaling about 9 billion. And they were not only lying about all of this, they were using the funds, the customer funds from FTX to transfer to Alameda Research, which was the Bahama-based research firm run by the same guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. Oh, thank you, Wall Street Journal. You can't read anymore. So then it turns out that not only was the money being abused by Alameda Research and essentially embezzled into it, we find out that many billions having been sent to Ukraine, there was a very strong possibility that some of this money was then being turned around and sent straight back to the US through FTX and then through Sam Bankman-Fried into both the Republican and Democratic parties. So, what do you reckon? How much of this is a massive money laundering scheme for the elites, and how much of this is some greed driven by 10 very fucked up people, all who lived in the same apartment and seemed to have some sort of sex orgy thing going on?
I mean, I think it's a little bit about of everything you're saying, and as I was saying before, I'm not well versed on the technical aspects of all this stuff, but I with all of this stuff, I tend to have just from space, like the big macro view of what's the key point, and I feel like the FTX situation sort of confirms my theory, which I've held from the very beginning, and I'm always looking for evidence, to disprove my view. And my premise has generally been regarding crypto and Bitcoin, that it's an elite project, because you had the Economist cover 1988 talking about 2018 they're going to have this new Phoenix coin, and it looks very much like the Bitcoin symbol. And then you had the 1990s, I think 96, MIT and NSA paper on electronic currency. You don't know who created this coin. I find it hard to believe, that one person created Bitcoin. It's always suspect.
I had him on the show. The guy claiming to be him.
Well, the guy claiming, but I think it's always suspect when you get some technology that no one knows. It just came out of the blue, like one person. I don't think one person can create something like this. I mean, you need a team, resources to build something like this. And anyways, the premise is that their end game, I just go to what's their end game, and then they reverse engineer. How are they going to get us? And the key for me is they want to, because I believe in Bible prophecy, Book of Revelation, Book of Daniel, all of that our end game is a global government that's a technocratic, dystopia control system. And then just reverse engineer, okay, how are they going to get us there? And you see it, they're going to build out regional unions, European Union, North American Union, South American Union. There's a lot of talk about that now. And then they need the technocratic control system, and they need a cashless society. And so how are they going to get us to cashless society, eliminating cash? They're not just going to appear like these bankers and government governors and presidents say, hey, guys, this digital money is cool. Why don't we just switch over and get rid of cash? And we're going to be like, no, you guys are like, pedophiles and murderers, and, we're not going to trust you. And they need this. They need something sweet, like to bridge us into this. And I believe that Bitcoin and crypto has been that sort of whet people's appetites. A lot of people get rich from it. A lot of people did, and that whets people's appetites to take us to these CBDCs, digital currencies. And then things like FTX. I mean, FTX isn't the first. You have Mt. Gox, all these exchanges that are collapsing, that are corrupt, that are Ponzi schemes. The powers that be will turn around and say, oh, look what happened with FTX. So many people are losing money. It's so corrupt. They're going to use that as a pretext to crack down, I think, on crypto, possibly eliminate it. So then they're going to say, look, we're going to have the CBDCs. They're backed by the government. That's the way, not this crypto. What's his name? Sam Friedman, FTX stuff.
Yeah.
We can't have that. It's like with anything in any other industry in the past. They have to regulate it or ban it and say, we're going to have the government regulate this stuff, and you're going to use our thing. And I still see, you know, my premise. I think the FTX example, I think that supports my theory. And I know there are good people in the independent media, alt media, who are believers in the Bitcoin, and we disagree there, but I'm still not seeing enough. And I've got great people that I love, that I interview. Mark Yeftovich up in Canada does great work on crypto. I have him on all the time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bitcoin will prove to be a freedom coin that will allow us to skirt CBDC. I'm still open to that, but as I see it now, I think all of this is pushing us towards this cashless system.
Yeah, I can't tell where I think, like, for me it does seem like Bitcoin is different to all these other proof of stake currencies. But then Craig Wright, Dr. Craig Wright, the guy who I had on the show that claims to be the creator of Bitcoin, he no longer believes in Bitcoin like BTC. He's built out a new one that's called BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, and he claims that is what we need because it can actually be peer to peer and it can actually handle trillions of transactions a second. And he thinks that the current BTC has become bought and monopolized by a very small number of actors. So he isn't far away from what you're saying here, which is fascinating. Like, and for, again, I try to stress this as much as possible for the people who don't believe that the CBDCs are coming. They have been trialed in China for 2 years. There has been many an announcement from the Fed, from the Bank of England, that they are looking at central bank digital currencies, the Fed coin and Britcoin. And then, interestingly, for right today, on the 15th of fucking November, the New York Fed and 12 other, the New York Fed and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York are going to start a 12-week digital dollar pilot to test how banks using digital dollar tokens in a common database can help speed up payments. So thankfully, it's only about just making payments faster. There's nothing sinister about this at all. Hey everyone, thanks for making it right the way to the end of the podcast. I love that you tuned in this long. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, because 80% of you bastards are not subscribing, but you're watching my videos. See you next time.